Welcome back to the Ride Fam. This is your host, Dr. Eric K. Coleman. Please like, share, and subscribe to the platform so that you can stay up to date with all content that is coming from here. We want to jump into the topic for today. We're going to be dealing with a safe place and a safe space in chapter 2 of the book, Paradigm Thinking Differently About Relationships. I believe it's ever so critical for couples, for friendships, for parent and child relationships, for us to feel safe in our relationships, to whereas we will be able to take down the facades, we will be able to be vulnerable with the people that we are in relationship with without fear of arbitrary judgment, someone putting us down, someone placing something on us that just should not be, or thinking differently about us when we're just trying to work through our issues, work through our pains, work through our hurts. When we have taken this self reflective inventory and now we have decided to show this person who we really are and why it is the way that we are. So, what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at a clip from the popular television reality show Family or Fiance, to where this couple, they have some, well, not some, but multiple dynamics here that are not working in their favor in regards to them coming together closer, being vulnerable with one another, having that trust factor, and for them to be the authority in each other's lives as opposed to outside personnel. Let's go ahead and jump into this clip and we'll unpack it as we go.
I'm Felicia.
I'm Daryl. And we're engaged.
We met at a brunch. Daryl was not my type at all. He's dressed cute, but he wasn't my type at all.
We talked at that brunch at 2 p.m. to like 2 a.m. that day. We kind of were inseparable since that moment. You know, I just learned how to swim, so I'm gonna try and race somebody and see where I'm at with it. I would say, babe, how would you like your perfect proposal? And she says, marriage is like a merging of families. I want my friends and my families to be there. I want your family to be there.
Little did I know Daryl was planning this extravagant engagement.
It was at least 60 people, and she completely lost it. She knew then, like, oh, wow, this is real.
Do you think that everybody's going to give us their blessing?
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
In hindsight, it wasn't a complete merging of families.
Daryl's family not showing up to the engagement, it made me feel like, okay, what is it about me that makes them not want to come around? And Daryl doesn't get along with my best friend, Keith. Are you open to Keith? Keith and I went to college together, and I'm not willing to give up my friend. He's a good guy, and you're...
Okay, red flag number one. Now, remember when we were talking about red flags in relationships, when we talk about immediate signs that we have the option to either overlook them or to deal with them. This goes back to one of the previous episodes when we were talking about emotional responsibility. We cannot get into a relationship and overlook the signs because the ownership and responsibility is on us as well. Two sides of the coin when we say that, oh, you've changed. Well, no, some of these signs, some of these warning signs were present in the beginning. So, from a self accountability perspective, Is it the fact that the person actually changed and you overlooked it because there was something else that you desired and you thought that you would be able to change this person? Or you did it out of your own accord and you just thought that it would just go away? So on either side of this coin, we play responsibility in thinking it will just go away, or I have the ability, the aptness, and the power to change the other person in my favor.
A great man. We should be able to kumbaya.
You know the difference.
If Keith does not attend the wedding,
He won't be missing.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Look, babe.
Very nice. Hey.
Hello. Welcome to Family or Fiance.
Thank you.
Nice
How
to meet you.
Nice.
How are you doing?
Good. This is going to be your house.
Okay.
Check things out. Then meet me in my office in a couple minutes.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Oh wow. Really, really cozy. It's cool. It's dope. It's like peaceful. So hopefully we can resolve all of our issues in this piece, right?
Hello. Come on in. Have a seat. So, how are you both?
We're doing good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
First of all, congratulations on your engagement.
Thank you.
When did you know that you wanted to marry Daryl?
I was bringing him around my family. That was the number one thing. Everyone just really, embraced him. I figured if he can mesh with my family, then that's it.
What's your relationship like with Daryl's family?
There is no relationship there.
So many relationship issues come out of our families of origin and the relationships that we have with our families of origin. So what's great about this is that we get to put everybody in the same space.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite interesting to find out why Daryl's family is not that fond of Felicia or vice versa. So let's see where this goes.
Now I want to find out who's coming from your family.
Okay, my mom, Anastasia, Kevin, my best friend, and Terrence, another friend of mine. In this house this weekend, I think somebody gonna cry. Kevin, closest friend I have. He's my best man. He holds me accountable. So he wants to make sure, you're doing everything the right way. I call
That's
him
good.
the wild card. He wants to make sure that because we both are, could be stubborn or spoiled, we check that at the door.
Yep.
That's good that he's able to acknowledge the fact that both parties can be stubborn and spoiled. Yeah, they definitely need to check that at the door. And so I'm glad that he has an accountability partner that is able to point that out in him as one of his character flaws, and that he's working towards cleaning that up.
And what about your mom? What's your relationship with your mom like?
Awesome.
I looked at it a little differently because I come from a family of close knit, and we're gonna reach out. And I was expecting that from Daryl's mom, so maybe the expectation was wrong.
So there's a little
bingo. She's using some of the words that we talk about all the time on this platform. Expectations. Do we have realistic or unrealistic expectations? Alicia is bringing in the mindset of what dynamic is present in her household. And so she is putting that off on Daryl's family, to whereas, because this is what we do in our family, I am expecting your family, I'm expecting your mother to reach out to me, which, let's be perfectly honest here. She's the outsider of the family. She needs to be doing the first move here to try to build this relationship with his mother. It's not on the mother to reach out to her. It is on Felicia to reach out to the mother, to reach out to their side of the family, to try to get to know them. Again, that goes back to what Daryl said in his opening statement, as far as that they both can be stubborn and they both can be spoiled. So clearly, right off the back here, we're seeing a stubborn, spoiled mindset of it's all about me. So yeah, we really need to get that under control, and we need to get that in check. And I'm glad that it was said and it was called out. And so let's see where that goes from here.
A little bit of tension between you and Daryl's mom. Or there's like a relationship
It's just
there
a
that
gray
isn't
area.
what you. Okay,
It's just
area.
gray.
Okay, who's coming from your side?
So my mother Sylvia, my sister Kaylee, and my best friend Keith.
Are you guys excited? Nervously excited.
You know, I haven't seen Daryl since August. We got into a heated argument.
You're gonna be like, what's up?
And like, I really don't know what to expect.
My mother Sylvia is coming, and I think she just wants to know that Daryl can handle me in a delicate way. If he's upset, then he can effectively communicate that, right? My sister Kaylee is such a sweet person. She just wants me to be happy and treated well. And then Keith is coming, and he's my best friend. He wants to feel like...
Before we get into Keith, which there's a huge issue and problem with that right off the back. I understand that, that's her best friend since college, but you are totally in a different dynamic now. You're about to have a husband, and I could be wrong, but I am assuming that Keith probably desires more out of Felicia than just being friends. I could be wrong, but we'll see where that goes. But when you get into a relationship, dynamics have to change. You can no longer do the same things you used to do. You can no longer go to the same places. You can't stay out all night. You can't do those sorts of things when you're in a new relationship. It's either you're in it to win it with the person you decide to be in relationship with, or you're not. You cannot have it both ways. So we're gonna see what this dynamic is gonna shape out to be, because it very clearly, I don't see this going too well with Keith and Daryl here, as they say that they had a heated argument a few months ago. So this is gonna be quite interesting.
Like, I can have like male best friends, and Daryl's not going to be upset about it. Or
I've never said, yo, you can't be friends with him. Like, I feel like she allows some things to happen and she defends his behavior.
Mm-hmm.
But when I tell her it's disrespectful to myself, I'm insecure all of a sudden. I'm controlling.
Okay, I want to get a little background on this
please.
relationship.
Keith and I went to college together.
Okay, and you're 30, so this is like a 12-year relationship.
Exactly,
okay.
Right? So Keith liked me in college.
Okay.
Even then, it was like, I don't like you in that way. We became friends from that point on.
Do you think that Keith could hold a candle for you like that?
I don't think anymore.
Okay.
Bingo, nailed it. Yes, Keith wants something more. Felicia has stated that she doesn't. She just wants to be friends, so she's put Keith in the friend zone. But it's very clear Keith is still holding out hope. And this is very dangerous to the relationship that she's having right now, or any relationship that she's going to have with a man, because there is a competing factor here. She can continue to tell Keith no, and Keith is still on her heels, as if he is holding out some ray of hope. And Felicia, knowingly or unknowingly, she is leading this guy on, because she's putting so much trust, so much value, so much time and attention, and so much authority has been given to him as an authority in her life, that she's completely detached from reality right now of how the friendship, or not necessarily the friendship, but the depth and the breadth of this friendship, how it is affecting her current relationship with her fiance.
Did you guys ever kiss?
No, never.
Okay. You never kissed?
No. I get this guy used to have, some feelings for me.
And you don't think that's gone?
No, I don't know. Honestly,
okay.
I can't speak for him.
I'm just trying to check on that.
But that's not my concern. My concern is her defending his behavior.
I totally get it. It feels like she's loyal to him, and that
absolutely displaced loyalty.
Exactly.
So this is like the big issue between the two of you.
They don't feel safe in their relationship.
Yeah,
well, that means it's the biggest one.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. He may have a different perception of him, and I can't say that that's not his truth. However, it's not fair to make me feel as though I have to choose him.
Okay, I think you might have to choose. So that's what it is, family or fiance.
I know.
Absolutely. That's why you're here, ma'am. Come on.
The ability for the families to merge, and then I would like for him to work out things with Keith.
Okay. How about you, Daryl?
How she handles that situation with her best friend. She has to do better.
Okay. The families are on the way.
Sometimes there has got to be an ultimatum here. In life, we have to understand and realize you cannot have it all. You cannot have it both ways. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. There is no way that this woman can sit here and say she wants a husband that she does not have total trust in and still have a male friend that she has complete and utter trust with. Then I'm sorry to say it, at the end of the day, then be with him. You know, it's not going to go well because let's be perfectly honest. Let's put the shoe on the other foot. If Daryl here has a female best friend that he completely confides in and does not give her that same level of trust and accountability and warmth and vulnerability and laying all his cards out on the table, it would be a huge problem. So let's just call a spade here. And this is what we're talking about from the perspective of, again, from our last episode, your perception is clearly not reality. And we're doing things and we're trying to pawn off our emotions, our desires, our wants arbitrarily on other people as if you need to do the work. But I have the right and I reserve the right to continue to remain the same just because of my past hurts and my triggers. I refuse to do the work, but I want you to do the work so that you can accommodate and benefit me and make me feel good about myself. And that's just totally inappropriate. That's totally unfair. And so what we're going to do, we're just going to jump gears a little bit and we're going to move a little bit further in the episode so that we can get to the nitty and the gritty of the safe place and safe space conversation.
What do you need from Felicia to feel safe?
I did feel safe. I'm not. I don't
Until
feel,
when?
Until she starts defending things that are obvious to me, because then I feel like she doesn't want to do the work.
Bingo. We just mentioned that, and again, this is coming from his perception, which is his reality. We've talked about ad nauseum. The thought process of your perception may not always be reality, but I would have to agree in this instance, his perception is the reality that the woman that he has chosen to be his future wife, she has a displaced loyalty here to where whenever he is communicating something to her, she totally discounts it because she is still in her own world. She still wants to perceive things the way she wants to perceive it. And then you're gaslighting, trying to make the other person look crazy.
Okay, that's interesting. Are you hearing that?
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that he was getting like little jabs or like little petty things that were coming from Keith.
Hadn't he told you that?
Absolutely. Look at the body language here. She just stated that she didn't know, but her man has been communicating this for the longest time, but she was discounting what he was saying. So clearly he definitely does not feel safe in a place of this relationship to where he thinks that he is even able to communicate what he's feeling. And that takes the conversation a bit deeper to where there could be other instances in the relationship to where she wants him to open up. She wants him to be vulnerable. She wants him to talk about his true feelings, how he's perceiving things. I want to have this conversation with you, but he feels shut down because I can't even talk about the root problem in our relationship because you won't hear me. But you want me to talk about everything else and you want to be receptive to that. So this goes back to the original statement. to where he said in the beginning that they both can be stubborn and that they both can be spoiled. And it's ever so evident and clear right now.
Told me that. He told me that. But
But
however,
you didn't believe him?
I didn't believe him because the things that came out yesterday only came out yesterday.
I know, but he
So-
said it. You don't believe him?
No,
No,
those were
baby,
not the
say
things.
no.
Excuse me.
Wow, do you see how defensive she is right now? She has to be right. She has to feel justified in what she's doing and how she's acting and what she's saying right now. She is totally discounting him and what he's saying, and she's not even listening to what the therapist is saying. Self-justification, people, it is a dangerous thing. There is no way for this man to feel safe in this relationship. There's no way for him to feel as if he can be vulnerable and actually share his heart and give himself wholly and totally to her when she is going to be totally defensive and make everything about her.
But not the same situation.
What was new yesterday?
The statement that he and I kissed. And then Keith says, oh, well, it was 12 years ago.
Well, you told me you didn't kiss.
Right. I think that some of the things that Keith was saying was a direct jab at Daryl.
And now you believe that. Do you see what I'm getting at with that?
Mm-hmm.
That Keith's the authority, not your fiance.
Boom. I couldn't have said it better myself. She is making the best friend more of a priority than her future husband, more than her fiance. That is a huge problem that she is just not seeing right now. I don't know if it's the fact that she's not willing to see it or she just does not want to see it. But let's see what her response is to this.
Keith is when you believe, not Daryl.
Wow, she just said she doesn't believe that's true. I'm not someone to tell someone not to be together, but there is major work, major self-reflection, major issues here that they need to take a step back and figure out why is it that they are showing up in this relationship the way that they are showing up. This is not going to end well if they continue down this path.
Do you see your man thinks that?
Once I tell you that this is not what it is, your trust lies with me.
Mhm.
If you walked into a room and I was sitting and having a conversation with another guy, that shouldn't make you uncomfortable. Because whatever that guy does, you know that I'm never going to let him disrespect you, and I'm never going to disrespect myself.
Okay, so you're making this about you?
Absolutely. This goes into chapter 8 of the book Paradigm, Thinking Different About Relationships. How dare you make my feelings about you? How in the world are we flipping this entire conversation surrounding how your actions, how I am trying to hold you accountable, how I feel about a situation, how your outside influencers influence the dynamics of our relationship and how this makes me feel. I'm not saying it's causal, but it definitely correlates with the issues that we're having in our relationship right now. And I'm trying to talk about this in a manner, as you stated earlier, of what your mother desires for you is someone that is going to handle you gently. I'm trying to handle you gently, but you are totally discrediting and discounting everything that I am saying to you. Even the therapist, you're not trying to hear what she's saying to you to get through to your brain that what you are doing is wrong. And you're still trying to justify it by how I need to turn this around on me, how my actions that are negative to the relationship, that are toxic to the relationship, because you are now holding me accountable and calling me out on that, I feel sad. So I'm going to spend the entire conversation to be about how you're making me feel because I'm doing X, Y, and Z. How dare you? We got to do better, fam. We got to do better.
For him, It's about something else. In that moment, he experiences, what if I lost my partner? This is a place where he is vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
And then what the partner needs to
Let
do
that man be
is go,
vulnerable.
oh, partner, I see your vulnerability and I want to hold that for you.
Mm-hmm.
Not, you should know who I am. You both don't feel safe a lot in that
No,
relationship.
not at all.
Where is this coming from? Past relationships?
Yep. Past relationships, the relationship with my biological dad not being there, and I think it's with men. Mm-hmm. To be honest, I have been in a lot of situations with men where I didn't feel secure.
It makes sense that you feel safer with Keith because you don't have to be vulnerable with him.
Absolutely.
He left my side as a friend. Even when I told him in college, I don't like you like that. He never walked away from me.
But let's be clear, fam. Friendship is totally different from a romantic relationship. Let's be clear about that. And it was made very clear by Tracy that you don't have to be as vulnerable with your friends as you are with someone you're intending to spend the rest of your life with. So there are still boundaries. There is still a wall. She is still yet in control. She does not have to be vulnerable with somebody that she quote unquote says that she does not want to have a romantic relationship with, and knowing that no matter how she treats her best friend Keith, he's still gonna be sniffing around. So let's call it what it is.
For me, it's been so easy for people to walk away from me. That's why I am very strong. I don't want to be.
Let's stop there. Let's not confuse being strong with being distant and cold, manipulative, and just using people to get what you want out of the situation. Let's not say strong and independent is synonymous with being affectionate, being vulnerable, having the bandwidth and the ability to take a look at yourself and figure out that there is work that you need to do on yourself. Now, that's strength when you can admit that about yourself, but totally being self absorbed and self centered, that is not strength.
Too vulnerable. I know that that's not okay, but it is very hard for me to be that way. And I know that's not Daryl's problem. I just want to know that if I'm gonna give it all to him or give my all to him, that you're not gonna walk away from me like everybody else did.
That's what she needs to hear. She needs to hear you
I
say
will forever fight for you. I will never want to be without you.
Aww. This is where the healing happens.
I know this sounds like bad right now, but I'm so happy right now for her. Like, I really am.
Because of the vulnerability.
Yeah, I gotta see it. I gotta see
it.
I'm completely overjoyed. I always knew that the tough shell was like a mask, but I didn't know how to get underneath it.
In that moment, because you were able to see me vulnerable and not judging me, I felt instant safety.
So, fam, as we wrap up for today, I want us to be constantly mindful of the fact of how we show up in relationships. We have got to do the work. We've got to dig into those backpacks and figure out, why do we respond the way we respond, from triggers, from actions of people, and how we arbitrarily think that other people innately are just supposed to know who we are and how we are built and how we are wired, when we have not communicated these things to people. We got to get out of our own minds. We got to continue to create these safe places and safe spaces for people to share their hearts, and also not make it to whereas other people's thoughts, feelings, emotions, and perspectives don't matter. We can't make everything about ourselves. We got to dig into these backpacks. We got to take the self-respective look. We got to unpack this thing so that we have a better understanding of how we show up in relationships and thus how we engage, which will totally and in a different way impact the way that we show up in our families, in our society, in our communities, in our nation, globally, and in this world. So until next episode, continue to think differently about relationships.